What's up guys, it's Tom here and I'm so happy to say the Premier League is back. This is a Premier League roundup show where we will talk mainly about the Man City demolition of Arsenal and also what a joke David Luiz is. Let me know what you think about his performance today in the comments below, because he had an absolute nightmare against Manchester City. And also we will talk about the massive controversy of goal line technology. For the first time since it got announced in 2013, not working against the Aston Villa in the Aston Villa Sheffield United game. Sheffield United scored a pretty straightforward goal where the ball was actually carried by the goalkeeper way over the line, and somehow not only does the goal line technology not give that goal, but VAR didn't give it as well, which absolutely blows my mind how that can even happen. So we will talk about all of this in this video. But if you are excited that the Premier League is back, leave a like on this video. And Man City wiped the floor with Arsenal 3-0. And I expected this, to be honest. I wasn't hoping for Arsenal to get anything, because usually Man City are just whipping Arsenal in almost every game that they play against them. The golfing class between these two teams has grown so much in the past few years. I remember when I started watching the Premier League, Arsenal alongside Manchester City were alongside Manchester United were the two teams always going for the title. How the mighty have fallen. Now both Man United and Arsenal are just fighting to try and get into the top four, and Arsenal look a million miles away from getting into the top four right now. But actually the first 20 minutes Arsenal held their own. I thought they built some good attacks and they could have actually scored a goal. They had 2 attempts, but after that Man City, as they got their groove, got their rhythm and grew more and more into the game. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne, he is the best midfielder in my opinion in the Premier League. And I'm counting Salah, Mane and all the other players who play usually for Liverpool in the forward line. I count them as forwards. Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder. He looked like he never missed a day of Premier League football, not 100 days that the Premier League was suspended for. He was spraying balls around, Kevin De Bruyne, and he slipped in Raheem Sterling, but Raheem Sterling lobs the goalkeeper and lobs it over the bar. He was quite wasteful today, and you have to consider that Raheem Sterling hasn't scored a goal in 2020 up until this game, so he was quite anxious in front of goal. But then he got an absolute Christmas gift wrapped in in a Christmas wrapper probably by David Luiz. I know it's not Christmas, it's the summer, but that was an absolute gift by David Luiz. I don't know what he wanted to do, but the ball hit his leg and then it just bounces to Raheem Sterling, who has basically just the goalkeeper and the open goal almost in front of him. He blasted home, and it was just before halftime, 1-0 Man City, and that was an absolute killer for Arsenal, because I thought up until that point Arsenal really held their own and they were actually pretty solid defensively, but David Luiz's mistake was absolutely incredible. And also you have to consider Arsenal made, I think, a massive error of judgment. They flew by plane to Manchester just 3 hours before this game kicked off, which is a baffling decision, especially because the storms are crazy right now in the UK, and also because just 3 hours before your first game, physically that must be quite knackering to fly by plane and also to be crammed in a closed space. And I felt that Arsenal was just a little bit out of sorts physically because of that. And also you have to maybe question that decision after Arsenal got 2 injuries inside the first 20 minutes. First it was Xhaka, and then I think it was the new Arsenal defender, Mari or whatever his name is. He used to play for Independiente in Brazil, and David Luiz came on in the 24th minute smiling and everything, And then he was an absolute clown in this game. I mean, in the second half, he pulled back, I think it was Riyad Mahrez, to give away a penalty, and it was a double whammy. He got a red card as well, which was, I think, a little bit harsh, considering that with the red card and with the penalty, the game was done and dusted. I just couldn't see any way Arsenal got back into this, and Arsenal in the end ended up with no shots on target, and Man City had 12 shots on target, 20 shots in total, and Arsenal had 3 shots in the whole game and none on target. Kevin De Bruyne ruthlessly dispatches the penalty, and it was a really deserved goal, because I thought Kevin De Bruyne had an absolute blinder of a performance. I think he was my man of the match, alongside maybe Raheem Sterling, also had a very good game. So Sterling scores the first goal, Kevin De Bruyne scores the second. After that, it was basically all Man City. Arsenal were just defending, and Man City could have and probably should have scored more goals. Aguero missed a couple of really big chances. He hit the post after Bernd Leno made the save. Bernd Leno was by far Arsenal's best player, and if it wasn't for the goalkeeper, Arsenal could have lost 7 or 8 today. Bernd Leno was world class in this game. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League right now. And Bernd Leno, I mean, Arsenal fans should be so grateful to this guy, because if they didn't have this good of a goalkeeper, then Arsenal could have been absolutely thrashed and destroyed by Manchester City today. So in the end, Phil Foden got on the score sheet. He came on as a substitute, and it's a little bit of an unlucky thing for Phil Foden that Man City just have so many world-class midfielders ahead of him. If Phil Foden came along like 5 or 10 years ago, he would be a Manchester City legend, because he would be the best player at Man City. But at this time, because Man City are so rich and they are buying so many great players, Phil Foden can only be on the bench most of the time. And I think these kids should be playing more. But maybe with David Silva going away from Man City in the summer, maybe Phil Foden will get a more prominent role next season. So Aguero's shot is saved by the goalkeeper, and Foden tucks in the rebound, and that was it. 3-0 to Man City, and it was just so good to watch the Premier League. The football was great by Manchester City. I always enjoy watching them play, even though I don't really like them as a team, if that makes sense for you guys. And now let's talk about the Aston Villa Sheffield United game, because that was just mind-blowing, the controversy. I didn't watch the full game, but when I saw the highlights, and especially when I saw that the Aston Villa goalkeeper, Nyland, carried the whole ball over the line in his hands, and he clashed with the Aston Villa defender, and also he was holding the ball for a good few seconds, quite a lot of seconds, behind the goal line, leaning onto the post, but behind the goal line. I mean, how on earth would any referee or linesman not think that it is a goal? Sheffield United were celebrating, the fans watching at home were celebrating, the goal was not given. And the explanation by the goal line technology was that it wasn't working at the time. Maybe somebody didn't plug in a wire or something, but I read the explanation in detail. What is weird to me is that they tested the system before the game and it was working. So then why wasn't it working during the game? This never happened before in the Premier League, which is quite amazing. So it's the first time mistake by goal line technology, by Hawkeye, the technology that is called, which is quite embarrassing for them. But also it's quite embarrassing for VAR especially, because before, in the previous years, when VAR was not in the Premier League, I would understand that yes, one time any system can malfunction. I get that. But now we have VAR. Now we can look at the goal in multiple angles, in multiple replays. And I was watching the game on Sky Sports, the highlights, and Sky Sports instantly showed that the ball was over the line. So how can the VAR, how can the video assistant referee not see that? That's my biggest question. This has to be an absolute disaster of a mistake And what I don't like is that the referees and the linesmen and the VAR referees have no accountability. They don't have to face cameras, they don't have to get questions to answer about their performance. I mean, the players get interviewed after the game, the managers get interviewed after the game. Hell, even all the pundits gave their opinion and they ask questions of each other. Why do referees are like shrouded in this secrecy and mystery, and they are just protected by probably the chief referees, and they just protect each other? And I absolutely hate this. I think this pretty much ruins the Premier League experience sometimes, that the referees can still make absolutely massive blatant mistakes. I mean, Sheffield United could be finishing in the Champions League places. They could have jumped ahead of Manchester United and be in 5th place, and when Man City's ban is upheld, hopefully, then Sheffield United or whoever gets 5th place will qualify for the Champions League. So that goal disallowed could have and should have given Sheffield United a massive win, especially because Aston Villa played better than Sheffield United, and Sheffield United could have stolen the 3 points, which, yes, it would have been undeserved, but you have to give that goal. I'm sorry, there is just no excuses for that, and I feel really sorry for Sheffield United, but that is a big lifeline to Aston Villa, who have a lot of tough fixtures coming on. Will play Chelsea and Liverpool and other teams. But yeah, that Aston Villa Sheffield United game was pretty strange, because Aston Villa pretty much dominated the whole game. Sheffield United didn't really have a shot on target, apart from that Nyland mistake, which, I mean, he clearly falls into the goal, and the referee was looking at his watch. The goal line technology should have signaled the goal there. I mean, the referee, I don't blame him here, Michael Oliver, because he trusts the system, because the system before this game never failed. You can't really blame the referee here. The linesman and also the VAR referees are to blame here, and the Hawkeye said the 7 cameras located in the stands around the goal were significantly occluded by the goalkeeper, the defender and the goalpost. Hawkeye unreservedly apologizes to the Premier League, Sheffield United and everyone affected by this incident. So yes, it's an apology, that's okay, but how can you say that the area around the goal was impeded by the goalkeeper and the goalpost and the defender? I just don't understand when you have so many cameras broadcasting the game. Anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys. Goodbye.